Alright, welcome back, family. While I'm on the move, I figured I would drop this recap for you. Now, this one right here is a general who called in some time ago and was sharing his situation of, meeting this female who her life wasn't the best when he met her, but him fall in love with her and him did want to help her out in the best way possible. He decided he would, cover the finances to send her back to school, do what was necessary to take care of her, and basically was building a life with her. You understand? He was doing all the stuff that a man should do to build a life with his queen, with his lady, with his woman, with the one that he loves. But unfortunately, she wasn't of the same mindset. He expressed how much, him buy a huge ring for her, you understand, proposed to her, got her to go away after ending her studies and all of that. People, what happened to him in the end was horrible. Even his mother passed away during the time that he was going through his turmoil with his wife, and he expressed she wasn't even there for him during that time. Viewers, take a listen to what was shared.
I met a young lady. I think this year would have been 21 years ago. She was from a very poor family background, which I didn't mind still because normally I like persons from humble being because my mother and father were from very poor background, but my father started working from a very early age, so we didn't have any hardship at all growing up. We worked with a known backside company in Jamaica. Anyway, I met this lady. Her family background was not very strong and wasn't one that no one would have liked to experience. Um, we met and dated on a few occasions. And then I remember one day she asked me, like, what am I up to? If I'm serious about a relationship or I was just there for games, just have fun and move on. So at that point, I said to her, no, it's all up to you, but if you are serious, I don't have an issue. Um, she asked me what I would have expected from her, and I said one thing that was really important, and it still is to me today. I said I don't expect a perfect person, but all I want from you is like good communication. And no matter what in the relationship, just tell me the truth. That's all I wanted. And she said, okay, no problem. Anyway, as it progressed, the family didn't like me. And it was like they were expecting me as well to look after them. Long and short, the culture in Jamaica sometimes if you take the calf, you have to look after the cow. Anyway, I had some issues with that per se, and I adjusted. The person at the time said to me, "Don't worry about that. She will deal with it." Anyway, we managed the relationship progress, reached like 10 years. Started asking about marriage and stuff. Um, no, sorry. Before the 10-year period, she had just finished high school and was probably seeking a job and stuff. But the first thing her family was send her away from me to another parish to work with some relative. But however, she contacted me first and we started seeing each other just the same. And every weekend I would like go visit her like about 100 miles from where I was living. So we're still in a relationship, yes. However, where she wasn't happy. She was living in very deplorable conditions, worse than her home, that is. And after about 5 months, she was very frustrated, and she said to me, she needs to make some decisions. I said, in terms of what? And she said, well, she has to give up that job. She won't be able to manage it and the living conditions and whatever. Um, I was working from about when I left high school, from about 17, probably 18, 19 years old. Um, well, she said to me, well, I said to her, well, try and do at least a year there. She managed to do 9 months. Then she said, she's going to leave. I said, what you're going to do? She said, she don't know. I said, well, isn't there something you want to like go back to school or something? She said, yeah. But her parents, her parents, sorry, doesn't have any money. And then at that point, she said to me, if I would help her, I said, well, of course, why not? So I did. When she ended up leaving her aunt, she said to me, well, she doesn't want to go back home because she's not happy there. And the fact that the family wasn't liking me, she didn't think that was the best thing for her to do at the time within our best interest. So she then popped the question without any hesitation if she could come and live with me. I said, well, yeah, the decision is yours. She came live with me. I sent her to college. Um, she did whatever she had to do there, and then after leaving college, she was like a year still like looking a job. My mom had a lady who was a business lady at a very popular business at the time. So I said to my mom, my miss not working and stuff, hasn't got a job as yet. So if you can talk to your friend. She said, of course, why not? She went to the lady and the lady like said to her she could come in the following week and start work. Well, yeah, she started working there. And then shortly after that, she was talking about marriage. And I said, well, I think that was too soon. You need to probably give us some more time and to really decide that you want. Because she was younger than me by a few years. I wasn't twice her age, but she was younger than me. But she was a very brilliant lady, very polite, well mannered, pretty, intelligent, had a very good personality. Anyway, she got a job with my mom's friend, and then during that time, someone answered to one of her applications that she sent out. She went did the interview and then started working sometime after. Um, from there on, sometime after we got married, during that time, the family were still not so, but she just tell me we need to live our life. It was all about her decision, not theirs. So I said I was comfortable with that. Eventually I got married. I stand all the expenses. You know, I mean, her family, not even a bottle of water. They didn't even contribute to the wedding. So I went ahead because I was happy at the time. Once the problem, I was working. I didn't have any real pressure, really. Older sisters were working. Our family was good, so we were okay. So I went ahead, uh, got well, got married. When I went, took her to the jewelry store. It was owned by a friend of mine, and he showed me the rings, started from the most expensive ones that he had first. I like expensive things, so when he showed me one first, in those days they said it was like about $35,000. Um, those time about 2006, persons were probably buying. I know like some of my friends that say they're not spending more than like 5,000, the highest 10,000 on a ring. I bought the ring, I liked it. It had diamonds and it was very unique. I bought my ring as well. Anyway, we got married. Things still pop up now and again with our family, but we managed to get through that, survive that. So after about probably 10 years in her job, she became very frustrated. It's a known profession in Jamaica, but it was a very hard job. So she would start being unhappy because she's like come home, complain. She often depressed. We weren't going out as we used to be because what I did is like most holidays or a lot of weekends, I would like take her to like hotels, so we can de-stress and enjoy life. So when shortly after that, we even went to the embassy, got visa. So sometimes we end up even going overseas, doing shopping, and then even come back and probably spend a week at a hotel or something. Anyway, I had a plan, like I was saying to her, well, I was also frustrated with my job. I worked with a well-known financial institute. I worked there for about 18 years. A lot of stress, a lot of pressure, but I was still able to maintain a good relationship with her. Anyway, I had to start planning ahead now, and then I said, well, I need to build our house, before we can even consider migrating, which is probably the best option. And I haven't tell her that you are young, so I'm going to go ahead, let you go through school, you and everything first. So she ended up even going to university, and then even then I stand those expenses, the odd fees, because I was kind of subsidized part of it. So she was responsible for like a percentage, which I deal with all the expenses. So after finishing UE, the next move now was the house, which I said to her, well, I have to put you first. You are like younger, you still have a brighter future. You had many struggles. So I said, I'll put you before me because I still can come back and go back to school at any time. But I need to achieve this which I want, and it's building a house. So I had a lot of stress at my workplace as well. A lot of fight against, a lot of power struggle. So I enjoyed it. Eventually got to the point where we got a loan from NHT. I didn't force the person because I asked her if she's willing and she knows the responsibilities and the obligation that we would have to NHT. And she said yes. So I decided, well, I want to build a 5 bedroom because we could have a section that we can rent it, especially like the fact that we were planning to migrate. So it would make sense like have the place completely locked up. So we have a part where you have some tenants and persons will be there. Well, she said, well, she went ahead and agreed with whatever we discussed because we already discussed things before. It just wasn't just a one-sided thing. We got a loan, started the house and stuff. She started applying to the overseas and some programs. She got through sooner than we thought, so the house wasn't completed. It was like a 5 bedroom, so I was doing like downstairs 3 bedrooms. So she got through quicker than we thought or expected. So I said to her, well, you will have to go before because I'm not going to leave and the project is not finished. So like when we come, we're not going back into like rent house or continue staying with a relative of mine. Because when we started the house now, we moved from the rent house to save that money, contribute to the house. Anyway, we only got a certain amount from NHD. So I was like here in Jamaica for like about 7 months before. When she left, we communicated like sometimes 3 times a day, most times. I was always there working. I even had an accident since shortly after she migrated. I almost got killed, motor vehicle accident. So I didn't have a car. I have a life-threatening illness. And I was struggling with depression as well. The fact that she wasn't around and there were some family issues which I had to live with for some time. So I fought through all of that, and at one point now when the NHG money was finished, there was nothing else it could have done. I decided to use a few $1 million that I had saved during that 18 hard stress labor with that company that I used to work with. Because I said, if I'm going over there to work, I would earn my money anytime. So that's how I calculated it. So I went ahead, drained my bank account, completed the downstairs of the building. Then, I said to her, well, I can always come now. The response I got at first, it wasn't something that I expected. So it raised eyebrows. Then I can remember one day I was going by the house and I was like talking to the person, and the person said to me, I can't talk to you now. I have to go on the road and I'll call you when I get back. So I said, what do you mean you call me? I mean, you always have data on the phone. I could put data on my phone as well, even though I mainly use Wi-Fi. She said no, she'll call me when she get back. So I went out as usual, always over the house every weekend, every evening I get from work. I was like over there. I spent most of my time, about 7 months I spent over there doing the house. Anyway, I didn't like what I started, got the feeling that something was wrong. Based on her responses, know that I'm ready and her reaction to migrate. So I didn't hesitate. I was like, started to question, pop question. She went ahead and put in the application for me as a spouse visa. That was done within a week. I bought a ticket and I can remember even when I had a week left in Jamaica, I said to her, you sure you want me to come? Because, I'm getting a different feeling. She said, well, yeah, my husband, why are you thinking like that? I said, I don't like your responses these days and whatever. She said, well, I overthink again. So, anyways, I end up left Jamaica to join her over there. When I went, it was like I went to a total stranger. So from there on, I discovered some things and, stayed down a little time and I got some evidence, which the person doesn't know though. It was very depressing when I went, the way I was treated, and the first thing she did was when I went there, thinking that we'd have moved to our place even the first few days, because she was staying by a friend until I came. She got the apartment just when I bought a ticket and stuff, so I'd expect so well. Yeah, we probably spend 3-4 days on problem. The lady ended up spending 2 weeks by the friend and tell me that the friend asked her to stay there because she and her husband were having some differences and, whatever. Anyway, I didn't really focus on that. So after we moved over and things, she would hardly take me out. Sometimes I have to be asking her. It's like it was a totally different person. I was treated like a stranger. So I started threatening her and tell her that, well, I didn't sign up for this, and the fact that I even asked you so many times before I come, you know what I mean? I gave you an easier way out. I mean, why you put me through all this? You could have said, don't come. This is all I even wanted to hear from you. Don't come. So things went to a point where I tried to move out of the apartment that we were living in before even planning to return to Jamaica. Anyway, things was a bit rocky. Then I tried some other stuff and I see where it kept failing. I even tried to get her to come back to Jamaica to like we finish up some final touches to the house and probably like put in some furniture stuff, some fixture, curtain and whatever. She wasn't interested. At one point I can remember she telling me that she gave me an excuse that her sister said the ticket is too expensive. Why not save that money? So it was really a struggle to get her to come. And then that's the time when I really realized that, I mean, it was like all basically over. Anyway, we did, at some point, she did decide, so, well, okay, we're going to go down. Went down for 2 weeks. At the time when I went down, it's like she hardly stayed with my family. She was always by her family. So started picking up so many things. So it happened that I didn't even get to spend a lot of time with my mom because me and my mother is very, very, very close. She's the closest female to me in my life. But I realized that she wasn't doing so well in terms of health because she had some terminal illnesses from 2012. So she had to do major surgery and go through a lot of stuff. And we, the family, went through a lot of stuff with her. So anyway, the time when we came down for the 2 weeks and I finally got her to come to Jamaica, and the lady eventually left before me, changed the ticket, cleaned out her stuff, and left. Like about 3 days before we were supposed to go back overseas. Anyway, I didn't feel good about it, but I stayed until the time I had no choice. I had to go back up with the intention of like packing up my things and plan to come back home. And I went back up and my boss them didn't really want me to come, so I tried to stay down a little more, but by communicating with my mom, I realized that she wasn't doing well in at all. So the following year, early the following year, I spoke with my boss and told him that I have some burning issues that I need to go back to Jamaica like for 4 months. And during that time also, I have a life-threatening illness which started to affect me again. And where I was lacking like sunlight, so vitamin D levels went way below vitamin D deficiency. So I started losing a lot of energy. So the boss said, yeah, I think it's best we have to go home for a while and come back. So I was alone by that apartment, and the lease would have been up in very short order. So I didn't even have a choice. I was looking places. It was hard to get a place because I didn't want to share. It was hard and it was expensive to rent a place in the city. So, I became very depressed and I got very ill. So I decided and I came home back to Jamaica to look for my mom. When I came, she wasn't doing well. She was very ill, but not as I or my family, immediate family, would have expected. Her illness has progressed over a 4-year period, and she was diagnosed as something incorrectly. So when we took her to the hospital eventually and stuff, at 28 weeks, long and short, they did surgery. They shouldn't have done on her because her illness was in a very advanced stage. So the day she came out of surgery, following day she came out, it was like a downhill, and we went through a lot with her. So we had to stay with her and had to be up and down with the doctors. I had to be trying to see if we could move her to Miami to get treatment, which it was just too late. So we had to watch her suffer in pain and die, and I went through all of that pain. But in that time, the person didn't really communicate with me. She tried, but to be honest with that, most times, I didn't want to communicate with that person. But during the time when that happened, she heard from a source, tried to contact me and answered her at some point, and then confirmed with her that, yeah, because my mother was like her mother. My family was like the family she had known for years, because she didn't really go back to her family because she had some fears, which wasn't even fair to me because I often tell her you need to go and spend like some weekends with them because I don't want they to think that I was a person who turning your mind against them. And long and short, in the long run, that's what it turned out. It appeared that way to them, and they hated me. So I had to go through all of that. Anyway, my mom died. She died during the time shortly after I came, look back to look for her and stuff, and up and down with her at the doctor. That's the most time we spent with her. She died, and the person called to confirm. I thought the person would have at least tried to come. Well, she did say she tried, but I know that was a lie. So I was totally in depression up till even now. I had struggles with suicidal thoughts, and sometimes person may think that is like even when you like commit suicide because somebody did us. When in my situation, when I examine it, it's not about the person leaving because I've tried as best as possible to forget about that person. Worse, I'm not seeing that person. I don't try to contact that person. I'm doing what's best for me. But is everything keeps replaying. It's like over 2 years now, and that's the haunting thing about it. It's not going to go away like that. It left a terrible scar. Even my mom like passing, so I don't really have like that close female there, other than my sisters. I'm not close as with my mom. She's the only person in the world that like I'm going through like stuff like this that I share things with. And still not a lot. Because I'm very reserved when it comes to like problem. I like prefer to lock myself away. Like even though I hardly go, I just hardly I hate seeing people at times. And that's how I deal in my situation. I try to lock away myself most times, 98%. And I'm just saying to say that not females think that only males are bad person or only they have like bad experiences. No. It's just that men deal with probably their situations differently and they're not so vocal about, like bad experiences. And it's to me it's not just like restricted to male or female, just persons, These days I think generations have changed dramatically. Sometimes people do change as well. You have no control over that. Sometimes they change for the better, sometimes they change for the worse. But for the most part, for me, I think generations have changed dramatically. So it's hard to meet genuine persons. For the most part, it's just about hype, sex, and money, and selfishness. There's no true love. Nobody really cares about your feelings or like that anymore.
No condolences to losing your mother, my brother, because it's really sad losing a mother, and he expressed that he was in serious depression. It's truly sad. Viewers, if you want to hear the rest of what was shared on this episode, the link will be in the description. You can just click it and it will take you to the exact video where you can listen straight to the end to the rest of what the general had to say. While you're there, please make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification so when we do go live on Unstoppable Live, you will not miss the alerts. Alright, also click the subscribe button right here so that once we upload another recap, you will get the show that you missed. Alright, until the next Unstoppable recap, stay firm, stay strong, stay positive, but most of all, remain unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Unstoppable youth. Unstoppable youth.